What's up, Chiefs? Welcome back for episode 9 of another Clash of Clans podcast. I'm your host, Click, and it's been a busy week in Clash. We've got events in game, we've got new dev talks out, qualifiers for the World Championship starting up, and a couple of community things to touch on. But after the news, I've got a guest joining me for an interview to talk about where the game is at right now and what we can be expecting next. And to wrap it all up, we'll be heading off to Clash Court. But first, let's catch up on everything that's happened in time for Clash News.
It's time for Clash News.
Well, it's been a busy time in Clash recently. Summer Jam is in full swing and we're right on the cusp of the All Resources event. I hope you've been farming incessantly and made a serious dent in those upgrades you've been putting off, especially with the best part being able to actually use your heroes while they're upgrading. So no more dead base time. But it hasn't just been in-game that we've been busy. Over on the content side, Judo Sloth has just dropped episode 3 of his Judo Talk series. This is a 5-part series where he sits down with the Clash team that actually makes this game that we love. We've already heard from Rafa and Ferry in the first 2 episodes. Now in episode 3, Judo sat down with Petri, a game designer, to talk about update bugs, CWL mismatches, and how Clash of Clans actually works under the hood. If you haven't watched it yet, go and do that right after this. And for anyone heading to the US, Clash is taking over San Diego's Comic-Con, where you can join Clash Bashing and guests for a live talk show hour panel right over there at the San Diego Comic-Con. That's on Friday, on the 24th of July, from 12:45 to 1:45 p.m., and that'll be an hour of Clash of Clans fun live from the convention floor. We hope to see you there, Chief. And speaking of competitive Clash, the esports circuit has also hit full swing with the conclusion of the 1st July monthly finals. In the Town Hall 9 division, Mr. Luck and Mr. Lazy pulled off a lower bracket comeback, reset, and they secured the championship. While over in the Town Hall 12 department, Team Not Finished took the title after beating runners-up Fluid Esports. Both winning duos now officially have locked in their cash prizes and golden tickets to the World Finals. But we're not done yet. The schedule still continues later this week, because on Friday, that's right, on the 24th, we've got the Town Hall 15 monthly finals, and that leads straight into the big one, the flagship Town Hall 18 World Championship Finals qualifiers running for the month of July. That's going to be on the 25th and the 26th. So yeah, farm hard, watch the talks, hit the San Diego Comic-Con if you can, and get ready for some massive Clash this weekend. And that was the Clash News for this week. Now, this episode, I have the honor of having one of the nicest people I've ever met in a Discord chat, who I'm lucky enough to call family by being part of the Good Guys. She's always willing to take time out of her day to respond to an issue you might have, make a suggestion that makes your life easier, or just add some info to a podcast, live chat, to get you thinking. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the strategic, smart, and stellar Storm. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Click. Thanks for having me, and that was super sweet. I just a little bit about me and how I got started. My niece and nephew started playing back in 2012 when it first came out. Right, Clash came out. And my nephew created created a clan, and all the parents, joined to support them. And so it was great. That was my beginning, and since then, I think we went up to Town Hall 9 with the Queen. I remember I rushed and got yelled at for rushing. So just note, this is why I never rush anything. Um, so so anyway, we played for a little bit, and then everyone took a break. There was, kind of a lull and a break in Clash of Clans, I believe, at that time, and we were just busy doing life and so forth. And then I restarted the game in 2019, due to my nephew again. Him and his basketball friends were sitting on my couch, all hanging over. I think I ordered pizza for him or something. And they were playing Clash of Clans and asked me to join. And so I did. And then ever since 2019, I've just been addicted to it. I mean, totally into the game. And I left his clan. They kind of all dwindled. He still plays Clash Royale, but he does not play Clash of Clans anymore. But yeah, no, I just hopped around. I have 8 accounts, which is way too many. But I really only wore on 3 of them. But all of them are maxed, and I like to have a forever base at each town hall, just to, keep my eyes on the game, kind of, and understand the game. And it's fun attacking on those lower accounts sometimes as well. So yeah, and then I joined the Good Guys family, and I bounced around a lot in the Good Guys family as well. I've been here for over 3 years. I started in GG4, I was in GG3, I was kind of the leader over in GG7, and then we moved, and I'm the leader in GG6, and then I put an account in GG2, and I've been in 5. Prior to you joining 5, I was in there for a little bit too. And so yeah, the only clan I really have never been in is GG1, and that's because I don't think I'm good enough. Like, I'm sure if I pushed harder, and I know Trample would let me in, but that's fierce. It's too fierce for me.
Now, I got you on the episode because we were talking and you had some awesome thoughts and theories on what is and isn't working for you with the game so far. And I must say, I never found myself at any point disagreeing with you at any stage, especially when it came to communication. So, I wanted you to come on so we could get into it a little more as we get closer to the introduction of Tunnel 19. Okay, I loved your views and the way you explained it, that I understood and related to your sentiments regarding communication. Let's start there.
Okay, so click, about 2.5 years ago, I received a survey on one of my mini accounts, and I loved it. It was awesome. It was in the game directly from Supercell, and I thought, oh, this is great. This is good feedback for Supercell to get. And then just recently, right after the hero journey dropped, I received an in-game survey from Storm and on my Storm account. And I was super, super excited because I was like, this is good. Supercell really does want feedback. They want to hear from the player base. Some of the questions that they asked I thought were interesting. A lot of them were more geared to graphic design, hero skins, what I preferred, what I liked. But what I did
Yeah,
appreciate is that
yeah.
they allowed me to leave some comments. And so I was able to leave comments, and you know me, I drafted a book. Um, but I really appreciated their effort, and I feel a couple of things that I've noticed. I feel like
Mhm.
one, Supercell doesn't provide surveys enough, or they say that they're listening to the community, and I appreciate that. But my question is,
Yeah.
where do they want us to talk? Because I've noticed, there's all these posts on Reddit, and then there's all these posts in Discord, and then there's Twitter as well. I mean, Supercell has a gem, in my opinion, with Clash of Clans. This is a gem. This community is super strong. I mean, you look at the podcasts that are out there, the events that are out there, all on people's own time, not getting paid. Even the creators, I
Yeah.
think, do so much for this game. They're phenomenal. Um, And yeah, I mean, inadvertently they get some cash from people using their code, but it's not like they're on their payroll. And I'll drop one name who I absolutely adore and have adored forever, Clash Ninja. The stuff that he does and the stuff that he's been doing for years, I used to use him all the time just for calendars. Now they're putting calendars in the game, but he came up with that, years ago. So what I don't understand is, one, the first thing, where do you want us to get our news and information, Supercell? Do you want us to go to Twitter? Because I don't like Twitter. A lot of, some people don't like Twitter. Um, do you want us to read stuff in the game? And I feel like in the game, I don't get a lot of content. And then the third one is Discord. And I do get a lot of information from Discord, and I love Discord. But I just think it's interesting because I'm like, gear us somewhere, Supercell. Tell us where you want us to go to get the information. That's the first point.
Well, look, they've now got the town square in the global chat to utilize as a main broadcaster. They should make more use of it, actually make it more noticeable when you've got something that really needs to be said. Because I don't even realize when I've got a message on there. You've made the
Yes.
feature available by bringing back a global chat back, all right? Now put it to use. And then we've got Discord, make use of all the tools that you have available to you. I mean, we've got so
Hmm.
many people who've created bots and stuff specifically designed for Clash. Use them. If the team are looking to communicate with us, they have far too many options, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, and Click, I think one of the interesting things and notes about that is maybe they've almost gone too far though, right? Like the Twitter account, um, the YouTube, the in-game news, the in-game global chat now, um, and then obviously Discord and Reddit. I really don't see them post a lot of announcements on Reddit. I feel like other people post it and then it gets tagged as like, supported by Supercell. But I think for the average player, not us, right? We're not the average player. We're, very, very heavily invested in the game. For the average player, I think the news needs to be a lot more clear. And I think the news is actually, that news tab has gotten too noisy. And I think they should streamline it and really hone in on, here, this is where we want people to focus. And one of that is also controlling the narrative. And so, if there's a bug in the game, or if there's a problem, or if people are disconnecting, they have one place to put it. So people aren't scrambling and asking questions. I can't tell you how many times I get questions in game chat, and I'm like, go to Discord, or in Discord, and I'm like, well, go here, to Twitter or what have you. And it's just this endless cycle, and I don't think it's helping them. So my suggestion to Supercell is, sit down, think about it, streamline your communication, make sure every post is the same, and make sure that is put in one spot. And then you can add it to other spots. I don't mind that, but make sure, I would highly recommend putting it in the game and making sure that it's not getting lost with all the other stuff that they keep on adding to the news section. Then the second thing, and I think, is getting feedback. And so the same thing with like putting that noise out there. Where do you want people to go if they do have a problem? Because we know that the help system in the game is a bot and that doesn't work. We know now, well, I now know that there's a contact form that you can fill out online, but then you're getting out of the game and you're going online, which think is interesting. There's a bug report in the Discord server, and then there's Reddit where you can go as well. And then there's also Twitter, obviously. And there's WhatsApp now. I'm not even, and there's YouTube, right? Like, I, if I were Supercell, I would actually set up or use their online platform as a better way to collect those bug reports. Don't put them in Discord, put them here. Or don't put them in the game, put them here. Or go back to your help center in the game, which is really where it should be, and make that robust enough where people are reading it, people can respond, people feel like they're being heard.
That's it. The people that are enjoying the game, all they want, they just want to be heard. That's all it is. They just want to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note too, which I think they're kind of missing out on. Judo mentioned this in a Reddit Talks Clash podcast. He mentioned doing Supercell, I guess, came to him and said, "Hey, what do you think?" And he's like, "Well, you can get my opinion, but you shouldn't be asking me. You should be asking the average player." And he suggested setting up a community group. I highly recommend, Supercell goes out and finds random players. I mean, random active players, some that have had accounts for, you know, all 10 years, 12 years, whatever, Um, some that have had accounts, recently, some that are mixed and so forth. And just ask them, are you willing to be on this committee? Are you willing to give us input? And I would set up a kind of a system. So every month they get a survey, at least. That control group gets a survey. That survey answers the questions. And then Supercell, be honest about it and say, hey, here's the feedback from the average players, your community group. This is what we heard this month. Right. Like, and I think the players would be like, oh, okay. Yeah, they are listening to us. Like they are getting average feedback.
Yeah. No, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it would just really help them. And I think the biggest problem with Supercell that I've seen, especially recently, is I, I want to put this in the right way. I'm not sure that they understand their player base as much as we do. So, I want them to appreciate the community. We love the game. We love the game. And it's not just because the game is fun. And it's not just because we've invested in it, it's because of the people and it's because of the community. And so it's not really you, Supercell, that's making this game so awesome. It's us. It's all of us together, collectively, really making this game a lot of money for you, right? Like basically, I mean, we are the client, we are the, customer. Um, is so appreciate that and let us, and use that to your advantage and say, yes, like again back to that group idea or even the content creators, like this is what you guys are telling us, this is what we're hearing from you, right? Like you don't have to do AB testing, you can just ask us, like, are spam events going to keep you in the game longer, yes or no? Are you going to be willing to spend money if we give you x amount of loot and you need a hero book, or you need potions or whatever. So I just think that, if they ask, we will come, and then they can then support their decisions and say, this is what we heard and this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's perfectly reasonable. But let's get into that thing we were talking about. Just let's get into that quickly.
Okay, so the other thing, click, this is this is somewhat interesting. And I don't know if they're doing this, but if I worked for Supercell, I would we'll throw in, Clash Tours here, C note. He went to other clans just to see what other clans are like. I don't know if the Supercell employees are doing this, but I think it's part of their job that they need to join random clans and just see how they are. See if they're active, see if they're getting donations, see if they're warring constantly, see what their complaints are, and do it all undercover, right? It's like undercover ops. Just checking out and getting a really good feel for what is happening, right? Because I know that if they join my clan, for example, they would be like, oh, they're active, but they're really not online all the time, but they're super active. Or, man, they do a lot of coordination for Clan Word League. Like, I had no idea, right? Like, all these people have to
Yeah.
move. I suggested recently a 30 by 30 for champs, which is with Titan now. I think it's absolutely needed. I think there's so many people now that are going to be hitting champs that we don't have the room. And click, this is one of those interesting things is it's only for the better, on behalf of the game to keep clans together, right? 15 by
Yeah.
15, when you have a 50-person clan, 15 by 15 is, a fraction of your players. And now you're trying to find a spot for them. clans, when you create a new clan, you start at zero and you only get, a couple donations and they don't upgrade, and that's never fun. Um, Plus you're in a, even if you spin randomly, and if it's a new clan and you spin randomly, they'll put you on a league, I guess, based on, the town halls that you have in that clan. But still you have to start that clan and get all those rewards before you can even donate equal troops to, any of your clanmates. I find a lot of people drop because of that. And a lot of people get upset because they have to go to a different clan or a lower level clan rig league when they really want to be with their team in the higher league levels. So yeah. So that kind of thing, I think they could flush out a lot of these kind of concerns and issues if they just went and visited people.
That is a good point. I actually wish I had the numbers in front of me that were shown in the clan chat discussion held by the Discord mods with Marco, Ferry, and Frame, where they spoke about the numbers of full clans being dramatically less than the clans that have between 0 and 5 members in them.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, and I've seen the numbers before too. I think I saw once that the majority of the clans have one or two people, or one to five people. And Click, for me, to talk about this or even try to analyze it, is impossible because I don't know what they're looking at. So if you're looking at a clan that has one person in it, like I have a clan, my original clan that my nephew made has one person in it, and I'm active in it. You have to ask yourself why. Why is she, why is this person still active in this clan? Because it was made in, 2012. It's my nephew's clan. I'm just holding it. I'm not really concentrating on that account. I don't war, but I'm not going to lose it. It has memory, it has value. And if my niece and nephew ever play the game again, I want them to have that clan back. So they have to, they really need to analyze their data and make sure that they have the right minds in the room to take a look at that and be like, okay, we think this group, this percentage of people, this is why they're holding a clan. They're holding it for clan Wrigley. They're holding it for nostalgia. They're holding it for X, Y, and Z. We can kind of take those people and those accounts and those clans out of the mix, and then let's look at about all our other clans that are active, that are actively recruiting, that do war, all this time. Like, what's going on with them? Why don't they have more members? How talkative are they? Are they spinning back to back wars? What do we need to do there? Um, on the recruiting thing, I have a huge idea here. And I've pitched it in my clans in our chat. um, I think I think the recruiting board is awesome. I think what they did do to try to help, I really give them kudos for that. I think it's great. I think one thing that they need to change immediately is when you go into the recruiting board, you're allowed to join a clan for free. I call it for free, meaning if I go into the recruiting board and I see a clan I like, I can just hop right into it, right? I don't have to request to join, which is great. However,
But don't you have to meet a specific requirement before you can join the clan?
yes,
You've got to meet the requirements set by the clan, like what town hall they want for that, how many
right.
trophies, and things like that. Isn't that what you have to meet before you can actually join?
Right. Well, and I think you have to click on the notice board as well. But so for example, both in Good Guys 6 and Good Guys 2, we don't have a problem. I put a clan recruitment notice up, and it filled up in 2 days. It was basically like your notice has been closed because you hit 50 people. But anyway, and same with GG too. But what happens is people jump into the clan for free, what I call for free. They don't have to, nobody has to accept them. They're in the clan and then they leave within, like, I don't know, 5 minutes sometimes, or like right away. And I'm okay. I'm okay, right? We can't stop hoppers. But what Supercell could do is that hopper then can't go back into the recruitment board and join another clan for free. What I say for free. Now they can go back into the
But what
recruitment.
if they had to implement something like maybe putting in if you go to a clan, look for a clan that you're interested in, and then if it has all the things that tick all the right boxes for you, you join in there. And then for 12 hours after you've joined the clan,
Bingo.
if you jump out, you can't go
Ex-
into the recruitment to find
yep.
another clan in that space of
Yep.
time. Maybe that's a solution.
Now, I do think that we have to be careful because I don't think that we should make that player stay in that clan. But however, they can't get into another clan. They can't go back into the recruitment board and get into another clan for free for that time period. I think it should be more than 12 hours, Click. I think it actually should be at least 24 hours. Um, like you can only use that recruitment board for free for 24 hours, and then you have to wait. Yeah, I love it. And I think that's a simple fix.
Look, it sounds reasonable and it sounds like something that could work.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing about recruiting that they need desperately. And I mentioned this on Clash Ninja's Discord a while ago. I had to ask him because I wasn't even sure. I was like, Clash Ninja, do you have defensive API? So we have offensive API in the game. So basically you can get people's troop levels, hero levels, even equipment level. All of this stuff for offense is already there. Now, defense, we either Supercell doesn't have it, but I think they actually do have it because of war, like war matching. So I would like that published. And here's why. Not only do I want it published, I would like in that recruitment post a number for the defensive API. So what happened in GG6 is I said in my recruitment post, I said Town Hall 17 non-rushed, right? Non-rushed, and I got a bunch of rush players. And I'm like, I can't control that. And then click, I put them in wars and they're not holding their own and they just can't stay there and they can't be on my clan Wrigley list. And I'm in Masters 1 on GG6. Like this is an easier clan. Um, it's not Titans, right? Like some, but like this is I feel like GG6 is a good average of players right now. And so, we need that for recruitment. So then people can't bounce into a clan that they know they're not going to be able to stay in because we're going to have to kick them, unfortunately. And I hate kicking people, especially when they just join. But I need a way to filter that. And when they join to click, like what I mentioned, they'll fill up the clan and then that recruitment post is gone. And I'm like, well, this is a bummer. I'm not even getting the people that I want. I'm missing out on the people that I want because that recruitment post closed because I got a bunch of people that didn't meet the requirements of non-rushed.
Yeah, I mean, I can fully understand. It's frustrating to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah, and and the recruitment thing for me isn't that big of a deal because I'm lucky. I have very active and loyal members. Oh my gosh. I love my clanmates. Um we work as a team. I don't have a lot of open spots. I've had to turn people away. I have to move people out of GT6 over to Tiny Tots all the time. And so I'm lucky. But I look at all the other people and I see the complaints or the concerns in Discord and on Reddit. And I'm like, Supercell, just look into this, understand why this is happening. And the other thing too, Click, I should mention, I mentioned this to Trample the other day. Um, I think that a video needs to be put out. I suggest he does it because he's so awesome and fun to watch. And he's kind of he's a good player to talk to like average players, in my opinion. I think he remembers what it's like to be a Town Hall 12. Um, so anyway, I think that a video, Supercell should put together this video or publish this video of how hard it is to run a clan. Because the other thing too is there's so many clans out there and so many people they they start a clan and they think okay, people are just going to come. No, it's not that people might just come. You can fill up your clan, that's fine, but are they going to war? Are you going to talk to them? Do you know their time zones? Are you spinning enough wars? It's like, what does it take as a leader to organize a clan, to keep it active, and to run Clan Word League? You have to know how to, do all of that, and get your good co-leaders to help support you and fill war bases. All of those kind of things. It just needs to be talked about. And I highly recommend nobody ever creates a new clan unless if you're a pro team, or you need a clan for Clan Reg League. There are so many good clans out there, I think, that they're just getting missed. And I think, again, in Supercell's best interest, get all your players in healthy, active clans, and you will have a phenomenal player base and more revenue.
That is definitely something worth thinking about. I mean, it doesn't take much to do a lot, but from my experience as a leader regarding recruitment, I was the kind of leader who would designate the job to others, like the CEO saying, you do this, you do that. Like one designated co-leader, Ghosty, for example, he was my warlord in charge of rosters and starting wars. All right, so there was one co-leader who would sort out everything to do with clan capital, like starting the clan capital wars and the allocation of where the resources must go to the various levels and so forth. But elders were in charge of recruiting, and I'd get them coming back saying, we can't put out another note, we have to wait, regardless of having filled up quickly throughout the day, because it was a high level clan, and people would hop in and out immediately. I don't know. I mean, after seeing maybe that because it was an English clan and typing in Tagalog, or that the clan chat wasn't as busy as they'd hoped it would be, or I mean, whatever the issue was, and then we'd sit there twiddling our thumbs. I must say, I really love your idea of the creators putting a community video together explaining that being a leader isn't something that just anyone can do properly. I mean, absolutely anyone at the moment can do it, but doing it properly is key. And here's what you should know, and then let the video go. I mean, that for me is awesome and can be nothing but beneficial.
Yeah.
Get all the available content
Yep.
creators if you can
Yeah, I
to
think it
pitch
would be
in and
good.
add their own bit of flair in creating an explanatory video to make it not only informative but fun for the community, because that's what this game's all about. Social interactions between clan members, creating a community. Because in an ideal clash setting, it would be better to have less clans that are filled with more members than having the few clan mates in a plethora of clans. I mean, but that's just my opinion. Do you understand what I mean?
Yep. Well, and if it's all of the creators, which I obviously that would be great too, or maybe 3 or 4 of them, I would ask the creators to pick a few people from their communities to help give that input, right? So like, we'll use Darth Kirk, right, in GG4, right? Trample should ask him, hey, what are your thoughts on being a leader, right? Like, give us this input. So people in the community, again, I think people in the community need to understand that Supercell is listening to the community, to the average player, not just what their numbers are saying, but actually people that are playing the game, that are, you know, trying to make it healthy and keep it healthy.
But like Judo put forward in his
Yes.
episode of Judo Talks with Rafa, he did mention that communication between the team and the community is poor.
Yeah.
And Rafa didn't prevaricate or deny it. He owned it, that it's a problem and that they're working on it. So let's hope that does lead to something worth mentioning in an update sooner than later.
Yeah. 100%. And not to, and I mean, I don't know if they feel threatened, because they get so much negative criticism. But remember, Supercell probably doesn't hear all the good stuff that they're doing. But I hope that they hear that there's so many people that actually really like this game and play this game. And so it's like, yeah, getting that feedback. Um, or just, tapping into it so they can feel good about their day too, right? Like they don't want to go home from work and feel like, they didn't accomplish anything, or, everyone's mad at them. A lot of people are happy, but people don't go online usually and talk about the happy stuff. But if they do it proactively, then I think yeah, it's a success both ways, both, what they're hearing directly and then how they can then, communicate to everyone else. So, um,
Now that's where I would go back to your point you made in the beginning on surveys.
yeah,
Picking random people from the community. You don't have to surf far and wide to find someone willing to give you information on regarding the game. All
yeah,
they need to do is visit the saltiest place on earth, and you'll find plenty of people over there who'd be more than willing to share their opinions. Perhaps it will be mostly negative, but there's bound to also be some good and as well as constructive criticisms to be said there. So, like I keep
yeah.
saying, they don't need to go very far if they're looking for opinions.
Exactly. I think I should ask my clan, right, both of GG2 and GG6, if they've ever received an in-game survey. But if we have, 100 people combined in both of those clans, or the entire GG family we could use, and nobody else has received an in-game survey, like, yeah, they need to be doing those more. It's so important. And they can keep them short. Keep them, keep them short to begin with and build up.
Until you mentioned it, I didn't even know about the survey thing. But with that, what they can do is see who answers the surveys by who responds, and use those who do, to send a request if they'd be interested in a longer, more in-depth survey to get, better results from that. And, go from there, see where things lead. You understand?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I would even start with basic questions too. Like how many accounts do you play? Or how many hours a day do you spend in the game? That's a good one for me. I want to mention this click because it just popped into my head. I've been thinking about this recently. And with the special troops, the spam troops, and then the A/B testing, which, we could talk about a little bit too. I am not a big fan of how they're thinking how they're trying to help people progress through the game is by constantly spamming stuff and getting loot. I get the concept. They want people to play, they want people to get engaged, and they want people to keep leveling up. However, I think it would be in their best interest to really sit down and, instead of giving us the option to spam constantly and get completely burnt out, think about how each of your town halls, the phasing for each of your town halls, how quickly do you want people to go through them? Definitely rework the lab. I know, I got to say something. I know that they're talking about adding pets to the lab and maybe two options to the lab. No, 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 no. I mean, that's fine. Yes, absolutely. Yes, go ahead, Supercell, do it. Go for it. But I don't think that negates the fact that they need to go back and look at lab times. So, for example, and this goes from Town Hall 14, 15, 16, 17, you look at them all, but I just looked at 17 the other day because I'd already looked at the other ones. Town Hall 17's lab takes 2 years to fully upgrade. 2 years. Do they really want me at Town Hall 17 for 2 years? That's actually defeating what they want me to do. They want me to be a Town Hall 18 on Storm. I'm a 17 still. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not pushing that button until my lab is done. And people think like, oh, just rush, rush. I don't want to rush. There's people that enjoy being max town halls. People enjoy that, they, gives them pleasure. So anyway, so they definitely need to think about that and rebalancing, and then really sitting down and mapping out, okay, we want people at town hall 11, 10, and 12 for 6 months max, right? That's all we want them. We After 6 months, they should definitely be able to push the button and go up to 13. We want 13 and 14 to be another 6 months, right? Or whatever, and then push the button and go up more. And I think once they map it out too, my biggest fear with people joining this game is they log on and they're like, wow, it's taking me so long to do X amount of town halls. I'm never going to hit 18. Why keep playing? I'm never going to get to the top. And so many content creators, no offense to them, but so many content creators do videos and podcasts all about Town Hall 18. It's always the max, it's always the new shiny thing. And there's a huge entire player base that just doesn't have any kind of support to feel good at the town hall that they're at.
Yeah, and for some reason, not everyone wants to go watch old videos on the relevant town hall to your own with outdated info and features. But yeah, I read in a comment the other day that it feels like you're never going to get there. So obviously, we're speaking about to Town Hall 18 and Town Hall
Yep.
19. But yeah, I
Yep.
think the idea of combining the pets in the
Yeah.
lab is a great, it's a great idea to give you the option of two upgrades at a time, as well as shortening
Yep.
upgrades with the arrival of the new town hall that's coming soon. But to what extent is the time going to be shortened? I think maybe a rework of the assistance is needed.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I got to say something about that lab guy. I always forget about him. I mean, I go in and I'm like, I mean, I forget. I've got 8 accounts. I only wore on 3 of them. Um, uh, and they're all maxed, right? Like I'm a max. I like to have 1 account at each town hall level. I had to bump them all up recently because, I know 19 is coming. So anyway, but yeah, I forget about him. I don't think he's a great ad. I think, he's fine, I guess. Maybe people, I don't know. I mean, hey, if he works for other people, keep him. I'm not, whatever. I think he might waive, which I like. I mean, I would just put that guy right in the lab. I mean, just put him right in the lab and just be like assign, lab assistants. Or I think I understand what you're saying. Were you talking about the goblin researcher?
What I was meaning to say about him, Storm, was that when he's maxed, he works for 12 hours in only one. So why not make it that instead of a cooldown period of a day, you make it a 12-hour cooldown so that if you plan it right, you can have 2 full-time upgrades with a day being shaved off on one daily. But I see your point on the fact that people forget about him. There's already so much going on in the base that when an assistant is available, that notification is almost invisible unless you're actually looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just assign them automatically. Um, now to the goblin researcher, that was, I mean, I cannot thank Supercell enough for that because the lab is so um off dated, out of balance, I should say. I'm loving that thing. And I think that if Supercell wants 10 gems for me every time I do a lab upgrade, I will happily spend 10 gems to do 2
That is
lab upgrades at
yeah.
once. So, you know, eh, yeah, you got me there. I no, and here's what's interesting too, right? And you have to think about, you have to balance is you still need to get that loot. And it's not easy getting loot. I don't want to talk about walls. Oh my gosh. I mean, wait, I got to talk about walls. Think about it this way, Click. I don't understand this. Okay, Town Hall 18 is 10 million, right? 10 million for 1 wall piece. 10 million, even if I'm doing ranked attacks, which I get 1 million gold and 1 million elixir. So that means every single ranked attack, I get 2 wall pieces to upgrade. I mean, aren't there like 300 walls? Like, that is insane to me. Like, I mean, I'm just like, yeah, and I'm behind on Storm. Another reason, lab, I'm stuck at
Yeah.
17 for the lab, for my pets, and for
Okay.
walls. One of the other reason I have a town hall at each of the levels is um because I do want to experience it. I mean, I just hit Town Hall 12 and I looked at my hero levels and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I have 10 or 15 heroes on one thing. Like the queen, I think is 10. The queen's either 10 or it's 15 levels at Town Hall 12. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness. But it's good for me to know, and I hope Supercell is doing the same, right? That's another thing. They should, hopefully have somebody, one person that has all of these accounts and grinds them every day and really understands that. Or it goes back to grab the community and ask
Yeah.
them their opinion. Like if they sent me, if I was on there and I'd be like, yeah, 10 levels at Town Hall 12, this is why people are quitting. That's too much, right? Like you got, something needs to happen. Combine it so it's 5 levels at one time, right? Put down your queen for 8 days and it's 5 levels, but not 10. I mean, but anyway, I mean, we could go on and on. I just think there's a lot of little things like that that they can do to improve the game for the people at lower town halls. And sorry, I digress. I know you were talking about, I was just mentioning, that's why I have those accounts.
I mean, we all have our different reasons for having multiple accounts, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
How many people have multiple accounts, and does Supercell know that they belong to a single player? Because, as far as I know, Discord is at least one place where you have to connect them via the API in order for them
Right.
to all
Yes.
be connected to the one player, right?
100%. Well, and what's interesting too, right? Click along these same lines is if they did a survey and they did it for a set population, right? Like or a set percentage of their population, they could at least say, here's the people that we surveyed,
Yeah.
this is what we're finding. So then you can multiply it by the amount of players that you have and say on average, 70% have two accounts, or 50% have two accounts, or 30% have two accounts, or,
Yeah.
wow, there's 10% of the player base that have more than three accounts, something like
Yeah,
that.
that would be really.
Those statistics
Yeah, yeah, that's very
would be
true. That's very
interesting.
true. Well, I'm sure if Supercell's listening, I hope they're taking some notes and let us know somehow how we can get their opinions on these, and for them to let us know where and on which
Yeah.
platform we can actually give them feedback in order to get results.
Yeah. Well, and I will say this for myself. One, obviously, they can contact me at any time. I'm an open book. I will give my honest feedback. And I hope, too, on the second thing is I hope they understand, again, where I'm coming from, which isn't, um, uh, you don't have to listen to me, but I am trying to help. I think that's the biggest thing is just, that trust me, I'm doing this because I love this game and I don't want to see it to die. And I don't want to lose any of my players, right? Like I don't want to lose these friendships. I want to keep them and I want to keep I really enjoy the teamwork.
Now, before we step on over to the legal side of things, Storm, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Oh, shout out to you. Thank you for having me. And then shout out to my clanmates. Absolutely. I can't even mention just one of them because then I'd forget one of them. But if any of them are listening, they know who they are. I just adore them. They help me so much lead the clan. They appreciate me. I appreciate them. And they're so good. Oh my gosh. Just they've made me a better attacker, which is fabulous. But yeah, we're three starring left and right. I know the game, the meta right now is super easy with equipment. Um, Not super easy. I should never say that. And it's not easy on Legends 1 and 2, but I'm just really proud of them and I just really appreciate them and thank you, and I really care about them. So
Well, being part of a family, we always have to stick together and up for each other. So my shout out will be to my clanmates in Good Guys 5 and fellow family members Trample Damage and Congressman Coolrick
yep, love
for their
them.
time that they took to look over something very exciting I'm looking at developing soon. And their input and help is worth more than gold. So thank you
Yes.
to everyone over there. Thank you, Coolrick. Thank you, Trample Damage. And thank you, Good Guys 5. And of course, thank you again, Storm, for popping in. That was an awesome breakdown. Seriously, the way you broke down what's working, what isn't, and what you want to see with Town Hall 19, that's exactly the kind of thinking we need more in this community. And speaking of community thinking, we all know what time it is. We've got to move from theory into the courtroom. Welcome to Clash Court, the only place in Clash where we put game mechanics on trial, assign blame, and hand down verdicts that absolutely no one is obligated to follow. Now, every episode, someone picks the defendant, and today, that was you, Storm. You looked me dead in the eye and during our chat and said, if we're talking about what's not working in Clash right now, we need to talk about clan castle defenses. And then you dropped it. The case on trial today, the witch for CC duty, and the charges are dereliction of defensive duty, wasting troop space, and emotional damage to attackers who thought they had a clean 3. Prosecution's probably going to argue that a witch in the CC is outdated, that skeletons are too slow, and that one poison shuts the whole thing down. And me as the defense, I would probably, go towards leaning and arguing that it's simply just standard protocol, that she filled the slot she was given, and that attackers simply, just didn't bring the right spell. Storm, as the one who brought the case to the court, I'm going to need your opening statement in just a second. But for everyone listening, let's picture it. There's a war going on. 3 troops are remaining. A freeze gets wasted, and in the middle of the base is the clan castle, still active and still spitting, because what's inside? It's the witch. So grab your gavel, grab your poison spells, and get ready, because, or lack thereof, because in Clash Court the evidence is screenshots, the witnesses are replays, and the only thing we take seriously is the 3-star. Storm, you brought the case. The floor is yours. What's the prosecution's opening statement?
Yes, thank you. The witch has betrayed me and snuck into the enemy clan castle. She decided to spawn her skeletons faster than my throwers could fight back. With the spears of their swords, the throwers fight with no reward. Over and over, she spawns her bony mess as I become tangled in an endless game of chess. Oh no! My throwers are getting scorched by a nearby Inferno Tower, blasted by the Wizard Tower, and hammered by the Minion Prince. They cannot move. They are too slow. They cannot reach the witch as she continues her staff switch. Stop, I cry. Let me go. But no, her skeletons keep coming and there is no escape. Time slowly dwindles away. 1 minute left. I take out some, but more appear. Now there's 4, all drawing near. Why are 5 still alive? My spear hit all but 6. Now appears 8, and I'm clearly bait. 10 seconds left. It's too late. The witch has sealed my fate.
Okay, wow, that was some serious creative literacy there to enforce your case. Well, it looks like I'll have to come with a little bit of a creative rebuttal of my own, see what I can do.
Yeah, she needs to be put in
But
jail.
here we go. The witch got assigned and benched in the clan castle lobby. She volunteered to join the team to defend her structure. But it wasn't because of their bad scouting, and their raid earned 0 glory. The witch filled the CC slot she was given. As I argued, this was standard protocol. It's just a pity she wasn't pretty, because then she might have stood a chance. Being the scattershot and the Rico cannons were distracted by the Queen's foot stance. They couldn't enter. Their timing was too slow. They couldn't ignore the CC. The skeletons came at a steady flow. It was plus, I said, not requested, but no. Or that specific spell wasn't suggested. Time slowly dwindled away. Time ticked away too fast. They wasted a freeze, but they were still too far to reach. Now there were 3 troops stuck. Why was the CC still active? Because not one poison was chosen out of the 10, nor a request in the CC. Too late, they were out of men. Final seconds, and then we rested. The witch had sealed the win. Okay, what do you think there, Storm? Is that worthy of giving her a chance? Letting you know that it's actually a poison spell that was needed. What do you think?
I say that the poison that was placed on the witches could not reach the skellies, and the skellies just kept coming and coming, and she still deserves jail. There is no, she does not get off the hook. She is just too powerful in the enemy CC against throwers and anything I see.
All right, well that says it all. She has to go in. Now, I let the goblin builder out on probation after Rick put him away the last time, and he's come back with 1 gem lab upgrades for us. So, how long do you think she should go in for?
I think she should stay in at least 2 weeks.
So, at least we know the system seems to be working. Let's hope a little alone time with the Skellies does her some good. Well, I want to let you know it's been awesome hearing your views, and I really do think Supercell needs to remember. Yeah, numbers and analytics means a lot towards the upkeep and workings of the game, but in essence, it's not a numbers game or analytics game. It's a social one that thrives within a community.
Perfectly said, Click. Perfectly said.
So, until next time, keep on clashing.
Thanks for having me.